This is a previously recorded episode of the ITintheD Show.
This is episode 144 of the ITintheD Show. We survived the Motor City Comic Con and lived to tell the tale, and we kidnapped a guest from the show. We have none other than Ming Chen here from AMC's Comic Book Man is hanging out in studio with us. We're going to be talking all things Motor City Comic Con. This is the ITintheD Show. Dave, you may fire when ready.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
This is Billy D. Williams. Bob and Dave and I are enjoying a Colt 45 right now. And remember, ITintheD, it works every time.
You're listening to the ITintheD Show.
Hi, it's Count Chocula, and you're listening to ITintheD. Whatever the hell that is.
Just where do you guys think you are? The Library of Congress? Detroit? Beyond the Sun? Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumbo Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
I dig you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to ITintheD.
So what happens when you tap the Ingrid Beaver in the bumhole?
Exactly.
Come on. Tries. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the
show. Hi, this is Ralph Macchio, and you're listening to ITintheD Show. Wax on, you know what.
Bob loves it in the can.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to ITintheD Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, John Kreese from the Karate Kid movie. And you're listening to ITintheD.
Yes, Sensei!
Are we at a break yet?
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to ITintheD. All you nerds out there.
Nerds?
Nerds.
Nerds!
What is a nerd?
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump. The ITintheD Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
You're in your underwear, I'm in my underwear. Hey, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey. I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
That's why I like it in the can.
Which kind of scares the shit out of me.
Shut up, Barry.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. I'm a techie. I'm a nerd, fellow podcaster. My favorite podcast is ITintheD.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
It's just too big. It's way too big.
We got screwed at the same time.
Yeah. Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
This is Robert Hayes, the Ted Striker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo Bar, I'm listening to the ITintheD Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat steak.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the ITintheD Show. Tough guy. Ho!
My name is Michael Zapsik from AMC's Comic Book Man. You're listening to ITintheD.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
Live from Podcast Detroit, the last official podcast
Detroit 1.0.
In this studio, this is the ITintheD Show, the number one and number two and number three ranked technology podcast on SoundCloud
this week.
This is episode 144. We're hanging out in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy, always here with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG. Find everything you need to know about us, ITintheD.com. Give us a follow on the Facebook. Give us a like like on the Twitters and download the Podcast Detroit app and
leave us a review on the apps.
Yes, please, for the love of God, leave us a review on Apple. We have like 60, and the
more.
More
input.
We need more. Yeah, exactly.
Need more input, Stephanie.
Johnny number 5, go. You fall off cliff and die.
Jeez.
Mark your calendars real quick. This Thursday, May 19th, we're going to be doing it all over again. We're going to be at the Hopcat in Detroit.
Upstairs in the Huma room.
In the Huma. It's not a Huma room.
It's not a Tuma room.
We got the whole upstairs to ourselves. No cover, no speakers, no sales pitches, no buttholes, just IT networking.
What about guys selling insurance? Will they be there?
No, they will not. They are not no financial advisors. Even
That's right. Last month, let's try. I don't know, do we want to keep the streak alive? We actually had to kick somebody out last month, or like, should this be a safe month?
Safe month.
Okay.
As we mentioned, we've been at Motor City Comic Con. We were pulling like 18-hour days for the last 3 days, and we kidnapped.
Just hooray for us for freaking being here right now and being awake.
Slow clap, slow clap, slow clap. We kidnapped one of the illustrious media guests. We have none other than Ming Chen here from AMC's Comic Book Men in the studio live with us. Thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. I must be the easiest guy to kidnap. You guys left a trail of Werner's and Hungry Harry's pizza right up to the studio, and I took the bait.
Well, I figured I'd make you feel at home. I threw on a hockey jersey for you. I figured I'd make you at least feel home rules.
Yeah, I like that. There's a kegerator in here. Yeah, that's great. If you come to our studio, which is in the back of the James and Bob Secret Stash, the one and only one you see on AMC's Comic Book Man.
Oh, you made the mistake of telling us when taping was. We're planning summer road trip.
Oh yeah, you guys are always welcome. And unlike me, I'm not going to handcuff you to the chair. So. I know I have tiny wrists, but man, these are way too tight.
Yeah, 2 hours. We'll feed you when you need it.
Yeah.
Pizza coming.
We also got a couple guests hanging out with us. We were joined all weekend by Jimmy McKnight from the Ninja Starship podcast here on Podcast Detroit, and Jimmy's hanging out with us. We're pleasure hanging out. We had to wake you up at 8 o'clock, but you made it in studio. We appreciate it,
man. I'm here. It's all good. The lights are working.
Yeah, indeed. And last but not least, we got Randy Walker. And if you don't know who he is, if you followed us on Twitter, you do, because he is the one that live tweets our entire show for us every week. So we're like,
I know,
Randy,
so Ian's flying solo tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So Randy, get your butt in here and quit hanging out in Auburn Hills and live tweeting. You're here in person. So
I've been in Auburn Hills in 6-7 months.
It always says you're nearby my stupid Facebook.
I work there.
Unless that's what you circling around my house. That's what it is.
I told you he made me nervous.
Speaking of my house is a pain in the butt when it comes to Wi-Fi, right?
And steps.
I have a 3-story house, kind of like, have you ever seen Full House?
Like, wait, 1, 2, 3. How do you have that many staircases then, dude?
It goes 2 staircases
because
per floor.
You got the half one between the kitchen
between the floors.
and
then the kitchen goes down.
Your
too.
house is a pain in the ass.
Is your house like a freaking Escher painting? Or
it
something?
totally is.
Yeah,
dude. And I'm not like, as much as people drink at Bob's house, go figure. I'm stunned your homeowner's insurance isn't like $800,000 a year.
No one's fell yet
because they're all hardwood floor steps.
So guess what sucks in my house? Besides
your wife,
that, and besides, exactly. Wi-Fi sucks in my house. The third floor is where my office is, and that's where the Wi-Fi unit is.
Right.
So I got the TiVos, or not TV. You got TiVo. I got the Netflix. All my kids have tablets. I stream videos on Xbox.
Do you get Wi-Fi in the basement at all? Does it actually reach down 3 stories?
No, it's spotty as all hell. Dude. My Echo's on, or my Amazon Echo's on the first floor.
Hey Alexa, quit being a stupid.
Yeah, exactly. So I got a phone call, and I got my friends at Eero set me out a Wi-Fi system. So this isn't it's not a router.
And I'm not going to lie, this is a good acid test, because if they would have sent it to me, then you've got the IT guy doing setup on the IT stuff. So send it to the sales guy, because if it's so easy a Bob can do it, that's our acid test.
So this isn't an extender, because I had an extender, like one of those crappy $15 Netgear things.
Right.
And I was doing some reading, and I'm like, why does this suck? And I guess it chews up like half your bandwidth just to exist.
Yeah.
So
its backhaul basically is taking up your Wi-Fi. It's
right.
The same frequencies and stuff like that.
Right. So I downloaded the app from Eero. In 15 minutes, I had 3 of them live.
What?
So I put the first one on the 3rd floor, connected to my modem, right? And then I put one on my bedroom, my nightstand. Then I put one on my coffee table in the living room.
Dude.
15 minutes later, then all of a sudden you start watching, and it's like the mesh network, and it starts to learn. It's learning. And
is that a little red light that glows and it kind of
that's just a white light.
Okay, good.
But you can see on the app what it's doing, and so you call each one out. kind of like my nest, right? We say bedroom, living room, office. And here's the cool part. There doesn't ever need to be rebooted.
What?
So
because
it reboots itself.
You buy a new Netgear from the store, and it's going to take you 20 minutes to set up.
My extender, I was telling my kids every other day, can you please unplug it back in, please?
Oh, my God.
My wife actually emails me, and she's like, hey, Nuri, the Wi-Fi's down. I'm on my phone. Can you tell me how to reset it again?
So... I'm choked up. It's so good. But I know, right? No, but speaking of that, it also pushes your software updates, so you don't have to pull anything. So anytime there's a security hole or anything, it pushes it and then it tells you about it. This thing is honestly so this is the acid test. I told my kids, change your iPads to this. And my kid does Crunchyroll and YouTube all day on YouTube. I go, so how's it working? She goes, well, there's one video I used to watch. It used to take a minute to buffer, and now it loaded like 3 seconds. Dude. And I'm like, okay, this thing works. And
she started saying, did you ever know that you're my
hero? Yeah, I know. But honestly, this is one of... If you look at online, there's reviews up from USA Today, Wall Street Journal. This thing just broke overnight and got huge. 750 reviews on Amazon, 4.5 stars. Like this thing is it's a little bit. I don't want to say it's pricey because if it's worth it to you to get rock solid bandwidth in your house, then this is obviously the thing. But hey, don't take our word for it. You can get actually free overnight shipping. You can have these things tomorrow if you go to EERO.com/ITintheD and do it when you buy them, you have to do the promo code too, so you got to do it twice. So go to EERO.com/ITintheD, enter promo code ITintheD. You get free overnight shipping, get these things tomorrow, and in 15 minutes, even if you're not a techie, you can get your whole house blanketed in a mesh secure. Oh, and Nuri, the best part is so you can do guest access. So if you come over and say, what's your Wi-Fi password? Then I got to write on the notepad like XRTK421.
Like we did at the booth this weekend?
Yeah, exactly.
Dave was passing around a picture of this like cryptic string that I typed 4 times to get right.
Yeah. So this thing, you go on your app and I say give guest access and I text it to you and it gives a temp password.
One time.
And it only gives I don't want to say it VLANs off because Dave's going to make fun of me, but it only doesn't give you network access or access to files. So this thing gives you just straight up internet access, and it goes away.
True guest
it goes away in 24 hours.
So you can download all the kiddie porn you want on Bob's network. Is what you're saying?
You got to sign terms and conditions. No, but it's honestly one of the coolest things. One of the coolest things I have in my house right now.
Go there right now to buy one.
EERO.com/ITintheD, and thank you for the support, keeping the lights on.
Awesome.
So I got to tell a funny story real quick, and then I'll stop talking.
No, you won't.
So my wife always asks, hey, who's on the show tonight? And I said, oh, it was kind of cool. We got Ming from the comic book show to come in the studio. Yeah. This is like really awesome. And she goes, oh my God, how old is he? And I go, he's a little bit younger. I don't know. He's, I go, he's Asian, so he looks like he's 28, but he's probably like, a little bit younger than us. He's got the good, I go, I don't know. He's not, he's no way he's 35. And I go, what? She goes, Ming. And I go, babe, Max von Sydow is not in the studio right now, and if he was, he's not 35 years old.
Yeah, not like, Ming from Flash Gordon.
Ming the Mercenary.
That's the only Ming I know. And I go, babe, I'll see you later. I gotta go.
I gotta go now.
So speaking of, Motor City Comic Con, your first time as an illustrious guest,
crazy,
but being on the other side of the aisle. I mean, your booth was slammed all weekend. You guys were rock stars.
It was awesome. Well, we were trying to keep up with you guys. I saw big crowds around your booth. I'm like, dude, we got.
Well, we had the girls in the
free
podcast
candy.
Detroit outfits.
Yeah,
that was
free candy.
Shot glasses.
Yeah, and all we had
shot glasses. Yeah,
all we had was Mike Zapsik and a bunch of Faygo.
I don't know, did he not bring the hot sauce this time?
No, he didn't. No, that was only for
fail.
That was only for the other con, man. They sold a whole VIP package for us. We were like, no one's going to buy this unless we throw in some extras. So,
with that hotel food, I could have used some of his hot sauce.
You could have just chugged it. Yeah.
You could have just dumped that all over those nasty-ass pretzels.
Nasty-ass all the things. But this, I mean, we were talking earlier, I mean, it's a huge, disgustingly huge show. Yeah, I mean, if you didn't see the traffic outside, it wrapped around the building. Lines were wrapped around the building 2-3 times.
Well, this is why I love being a guest. I don't have to worry about that crap. Like, I'm already there. Yeah, but I mean, this show means a lot to me. I grew up in Ann Arbor, U of M graduate, and this is my hometown show. The last time I was at a Motor City Comic Con was 1996.
Oh my God!
20 years ago, I was like a snot-nosed kid. Thought I was about to take over the world.
That was probably the first one I went to. That was the year I moved out here.
Yeah, It was at a smaller venue at Dearborn Civic Center, which I think they have high school basketball games in there or something. And then one big guest. It was James O'Barr, creator of The Crow. He was fresh off the movie, and he was the big. He was the big guy I wanted to meet. And,
so the rumor has it, I mean, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the Comic-Con started in Michigan. There's people that swear that that's true.
Oh, like the actual...
No, it absolutely is true. So Shel Dor is the guy that started Fanfare out here in Detroit and then moved out to San Diego. And started SDCC.
Yeah, but you hear these stories. It's like who invented the French dip sandwich? Like 80 guys.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure. Yeah, there were There's been Comic-Cons are
the Coney dog or the Michigan, whatever you want to call it. There's 80 Greek guys lined up saying that they invented it. They just want their paychecks and they ain't getting it.
So that was another thing we were joking. Like I go, it's almost like Motor City, like Dollar Con or Wallet Con.
Yeah,
and like it got.
Oh, we talked about that. In the good old days, you walk in with $100 and $20 bills, and you got yourself 5 autographs and pictures and all that kind of stuff.
And the other 100 was buying books and art.
Yeah, and now 100 might get you one.
Yeah.
Depending on who you're going after.
Yeah, we were talking about that on Saturday. Just, you walk in there with your kids, you grab a hot dog, you grab some ice cream cones, a couple autographs, you're in for $500 at that point.
Yep.
Easily.
Yeah, the Walking Dead cast was $230
for like an Olin Mills photograph. That's the thing that was different this year.
For someone who took a poo on the Walking Dead.
Yeah,
apparently you just have to take a crap on the Walking Dead, on a Walking Dead episode at any point in time, and then you're set for life. You can do the con scene forever.
Hey, what's worse, paying for an autograph for the guy who took a dump on the Walking Dead, or paying for an autograph for the guys who come on after the Walking Dead? What's worse?
The guy who took a crap on the Walking Dead.
Yeah, right. At least he can say he was on the Walking Dead.
Right.
We can't.
You're talking about Chris Hardwick, right? No.
Come on, one of the Podfather. Show some respect.
Indeed. I'm just being funny.
Yeah. But I had a guy on Twitter. Every so often I get reprimanded by some idiot on Twitter who's like, "Oh, you're just a Z-list celebrity. You're only cool because of Kevin Smith.
Come on.
Don't you feel guilty for taking money from people for an autograph?" I'm like, whoa, hold on. I don't take the money. They give me the money.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a difference.
It's not like I'm sitting there with a billy club and like a sack and throwing it over their head and beating them and taking their wallet.
There's a difference. But, I know it does suck, like how much it costs now. Like James O'Barr, way back in 1996, $10, and he said, and you got a poster with that too, and I still have it.
It's all perceived value, because, the Four Horsemen to me, we were talking about this in the green room. Four Horsemen to me, that's 1A. Like when I said, I did the whole thing with Flash Gordon too. I didn't mind paying that. But again, if it's
those are your childhood gods.
Yeah, but like Mike Nesmith from the Monkees, God love you, but you want $160 to sign a guitar. It's like, I'm going to pass.
I'm not going to do that.
You're right, but again, it's perceived value.
Could you please make that out to eBay?
Right, to eBay.
I think that's kind of like the evolution of fandom, though, right? So fandom 20 years ago wasn't near at the media hype that it was now. Right, fandom was like people go get their comic book stores. It was kind of like a subculture.
Yep.
Now fandom is out everywhere. Everyone's a fan of something, and so I think the market is dictating that price, and people are willing to pay it. So that's just kind of how things are going.
Especially with social media, these people are staying way more connected to their celebrities now, where before it was just, they did a movie and you didn't see anything about them till their next movie. Now they're constantly posting stuff. They're keeping people interactive with them.
Well, but so I guess does that make them more in demand or less in demand? Like if your only exposure to somebody was at a con that was in your hometown, wouldn't that make that more valuable to get, that autograph, that in-person thing, as opposed to, I see him on Instagram every day.
Apparently not.
I've seen
we're paying all kinds of money.
I've seen her hoo-ha no ass 37 times.
Speaking of social media, if you follow Ming on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, you drink more coffee than anyone I think I've ever met in my entire life. You've been to every cool coffee house in this whole entire state in the last 4 days.
Oh yeah, that's what I do. I love coffee culture. But if you also follow me on Instagram at MingChen37, you'll see I do a con every every weekend. And, you guys went through the experience. You don't sleep. You don't sleep. You're up.
No.
Some people think I'm out partying, like my wife. She's like, why are you drinking so much? I'm like, no. I'm networking.
Right,
I'm
networking.
Right. Okay?
That's us.
Yeah.
Babe, it's for work.
Yeah, this is network. I'm making connections. I'm trying to get into more shows. I'm whatever. I'm networking. So
and it's crazy how the nice ones get more work and the mean ones don't. It's amazing
you
how
want
that
nothing
works.
to do with. Yeah,
it's amazing. I don't know who would have thought that.
What a novel concept. But yeah, no, it was crazy. Like I just start the. By the way, the audio file from your panel came out great.
Thank you.
I'll shoot you a link to that on Dropbox.
You guys saved my ass. Thank you very much.
But I did. I sat down and started listening to the late night recording.
Delete it.
That we did. Wow.
See, I went home with dysentery, right? So
wow,
was
that amazing? Dude, you missed the 2:30 in the morning. The bar has closed, and yet somehow it's still open for us, sitting around
until 3:30.
Until 3:30, just. As Jimmy would say, making pod.
Whose bright idea was it to set up to start recording?
Oh, I did. I did. That was totally. Okay. I totally pulled out the handhelds, hit record, and put them on the floor. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing. Just shut up. Go."
Yeah, because they're Bob, sit down. I'm like, no.
See,
I know what you're doing. No.
Before I went home with dysentery on Saturday, Dave took the recorders. He's like, I should change the batteries in these. And so he pops new batteries in, drops them in his coat pocket, and walks away. I'm like, that was freaking inspiring.
I knew there would be the opportunity, and yeah, we did. It was what was it? It was the drunken ninja weapon rocket ship
in the D
with special guest Ming Chen.
Hey, you might as well record. You never know what's going to happen. You can get some magic there.
Well, that was. I mean, and those were honestly, those were some of the best conversations. Were just the impromptu ones. This was the first year that we had a booth at Motor City. I mean, and we kind of went all out. We had the gaming units from Activate. We had, the remote podcast gear. We had, the dedicated internet drop so that we didn't have to be like all the merchants that were bitching about not being able to process a credit card sale. And we had a blast. We had, shows we had a bunch of shows that went live, and it was always the impromptu ones that were the most fun.
Yeah, I rolled by that booth. I was like, "Whoa! Did you guys win the lottery or something?" it looked legit. You guys had the scaffolding and the gaming setup. You guys had booth babes. Like, I know booth babes aren't cheap because I've looked into that.
So we have a boxing show on the network, and those are the ring girls.
They're the ring girls.
Yeah,
from the boxing show.
You still got to pay them though, right? Someone's paying them.
Someone is.
Yeah, I'm like, Mike, put on a dress. Like, and it doesn't work.
I tried it on, and I look like John Candy and Nothing But Trouble. It just didn't work.
Exactly. Yeah, with like a goatee, it's like
right, exactly.
It's like the worst Baron von Frankenfurter from
Yeah, it looked great. I was just like, wow, man, these guys are way more pro than we are.
And it's one so this happened at PenguinCon. So we went to another con a year ago.
Yeah,
and we had a room party, and we thought we were cool because we had like a Bluetooth speaker and a couple bottles of vodka and a keg, and we saw all the other parties, and we realized that we were sad. And so this year we came out hard, and we brought the DJ gear and the lights, and we went through 4 kegs and 24 bottles of vodka.
I had a noise complaint at 3:00 in the afternoon
when we were just doing a sound check.
Just a sound check.
And we won best room party.
Yeah.
But basically, honestly, so everything so we went to Fantasticon where we met you guys. We've done a couple other cons. Everything has been basically trial runs and trying to figure things out because we knew that Nerd Super Bowl was happening in May, and so we were trying to get it right for Motor City Comic Con. And I kind of think we got it right. We did okay.
No, you did. I've seen a lot of booze. I've never seen a podcast set at a con that elaborate, that well done. And the ring car girls, the booth babes had custom
Oh yeah, we had those made. Yeah, absolutely.
Custom,
the podcast shred outfits. Yeah,
capes.
Yep.
Yeah, that was amazing. That really was.
We tried to get the kegerator in, but we heard that was drinking in the premise was frowned upon.
No, we didn't hear. I specifically asked if we could bring it in, and they said
they got rules in Detroit. What's this world coming?
I know exactly. What the hell? Heard this was the Wild Wild West, for the love of God.
I know, yeah. Axel Foley would not stand for this.
I was completely jealous. Was it Friday night? I saw pictures of you in Greektown hanging out with Katrina Law. I'm like, you did not invite us. We were going to cancel this and all.
And we thought we were friends.
I only had
Ivy Doom Kitty.
And Ivy Doom Kitty. Yeah, I only had room enough for both of them in my car. So sorry, guys. I would have invited you.
We understand.
Oh, shucks.
No, I don't believe it. I think that was the funniest moment of the night. Was you came back at like 12 o'clock, and there's like 8 guys with their hands up going, "Hey, Ming," and you're like, Jordan, like beeline past all of us, and like you know what? I can't blame the guy at all. Like I wouldn't.
Hey, if you haven't seen her, Google Jordan Trevelyan.
She's great,
and we're all friends. We're all friends.
She's great. Just making fun.
Yes.
So I mean, did you get a lot of old friends from like the U of M days? I mean, did they come back to the con to see it? Did you see any like old faces?
Yeah, I had a couple friends. When like I said, '96 when I went to that first Motor City Comic Con, my friend Eddie tagged along with me way back then. He's still here, and he came out for this. It was a nice little like full circle moment for sure. And I would have loved it if my mom and dad could have seen me there, come to my panel, and seen me in action.
Yeah.
Maybe hung out my booth. And when I booked the show, I was like, "Mom, Dad, I'm coming home. Like this is huge, Motor City Con, biggest con in Michigan."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Great, we're gonna be in Taiwan." So have at it. We'll leave you a key if you want to stay at the house. So I got back at them by stealing their car.
Right.
It's like being 16 again. It's all the old good memories.
That was one of my favorite moments. I DJ'd the bar scene since I've been 23 years old in Detroit. Like the old Post bar across from the Joe Louis Arena, Blackfin and Royal, like all the big bars. And I got booked to do a big German festival here in Detroit.
Yeah.
And my father came, and there must have been 2,000 people on the dance floor. And here's me up on the stage, yelling in German. And I looked down, I saw my pop, and I was like, okay, I'm good. Like the rest of the night, I don't care what happens. You know what I mean? Like that was the one moment. He never saw me when I'm DJing for 20 people.
Right.
He saw me there. In his mind, that's all I did when I DJed.
Commanding an audience.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
2,000 people.
Right.
Yeah,
which never happened again. But
my parents still don't know what I do. So when I, working with Kevin, even before the show, I was in New Jersey. They probably thought I was in the mob.
Right.
They've seen The Sopranos, and
there's a little bit of that in Jersey. Just a little.
Kevin sort of looks like a really high gangster, and so they didn't understand. And then when I told them I was getting the show, they were like, "You're gonna be on TV?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "What are you doing? Are you gonna be like a pizza boy or something? Like an extra?" Because to them, like that's the only Asian parts they've seen. Like it's all true what they say about Asians getting like no roles. But I was like, no, Mom, I'm gonna be on the show.
Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. There's
Yeah, I don't think they're into stoner comedies.
I'm just being funny.
I just have a feeling. So little by little they've been seeing episodes. So, but there was one time like those they have it on the airline like on demand systems, and the dude next to her on a flight pulled up Comic Book Man. She was like, "Hey, that's my son."
Oh, nice.
Bragging to him.
Pretty cool.
I don't know what episode it was. It could have been the one where I lost a bet and I had to marry Mike dressed as Sue Storm.
Nice.
While he was Reed Richards. It could have been the one where I was running around outside in an orange Speedo. Like, I don't, so you got to.
Yeah, great. That naturally, that would be the one that got pulled up, yeah.
Of course. Yeah, pick and choose the right episode.
It's kind of like when your folks walk in when you were watching wrestling when you were a kid. And it was never like the right moment. It was always when like, Gold Dust and like Doink the Clown were doing something ridiculous. And you're like, they're looking at you like, what are you watching? Like, are you kidding me? Like,
right. Yeah,
just give it 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Wait till Hulk comes
it's
out.
The cool part later. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no pleasing the parents. So they still ask me when I'm going to like medical school. Like it never ends. So
right. No, I mean how fun. Must it be, like I said, we talked about this I think a long time ago, but like we get like doing this too. You get to be. I remember hitting the tape recorder and taping over like game shows like Joker's Wild and stuff, and doing potty words over it. And this is no different. It's like just rocking like kids again.
Yeah, It's great. I've never grown up. I will never grow up.
Yeah, likewise.
And I think that's why cons are so popular. There's a bunch of adults with money who have never grown up. It's great.
Well, there was I was talking to someone in the toys, and I go, "You know why I buy this crap, right?" And he kind of looked at me and I said, "This is the stuff my mom said I can't afford it." And this is like my middle finger.
It was all the remade 70s stuff.
Yeah, and I can afford it now.
Yeah.
Like, I bought the stupid, ridiculous Boba Fett Shogun Warrior 3 foot tall from Star Wars Celebration exclusive. I had to have it. Why? Because my parents would have said they can't afford it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like this, I don't know if and what am I going to do with it? Nothing. It's sitting in my office staring at me.
It looks awesome.
But it's freaking awesome, right?
And it's yours, more importantly.
Yeah.
Like, you wake up every morning, you have it.
Yeah.
Even though it's just sitting there.
I bought the exclusive, like, Entertainment Earth, the Flash Gordon figures. I had to have them. Because I had to have a Hawkman figure just so I can yell at it every once in a while, So speaking of which, karaoke was a huge success.
It always is.
Did you end up singing that night?
I didn't. It was.
I was thinking about it. Yeah,
it was a long line of people. And
you had to pay her. We figured that out.
Oh, really? The karaoke girl?
If we would have known, we would have tipped her.
We're not above bribery.
She seemed to like me. I don't think I would have had to pay her. I think she would have got
I'm sure, yeah.
She seemed to like everybody.
Yeah,
right.
Big shout out to April.
Oh, yeah, she was awesome. That was the thing that was funny because we always try to like make, it's all about making people laugh, right?
Of course.
And I sing Careless Whisper by Wham. Second time I've ever sang it because I figured everyone's going to die. And then they go, do you realize Tara Reid was like watching you the whole time?
You realized you were basically serenading Tara Reid.
Yeah, she was like 5 feet in front of me. Like, oh my God, I didn't even notice.
Only at a con, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Only at a con. Like, how great is that?
Yeah. Well, there's my kid showed up to drop off something for me, and there's Ric Flair in the bar. So of course my kid thinks every time I go out, there's like Ric Flair, hanging out. Just
Dad, what do you do?
Right. That's what we were joking. Like Tully Blanchard watched when I was walking to the bathroom, man. Like,
yeah,
right in front of the band. You had to walk in front of Tully Blanchard. I'm like, how cool is this?
Nice.
I don't know. Careless Whispers. That's so Deadpool of you. I think in the movie but Deadpool mentions that's when they got the exclamation point. That's when they earned the exclamation. When wham.
Oh, exactly.
Wham. Yeah. Excellent choice, my friend.
So let's segue into that. So let's start going into like you brought up Fantastic Four. Is that the worst superhero movie like in our modern?
Oh my God! I just watched that remake.
You guys watch it? I was trapped on a plane and it was on the entertainment system, and I was like, all right, I got an hour and a half to kill. Let's see how bad this is, and it was pretty horrible.
They tried to like X-Men New Generation prequel Fantastic Four.
Yeah, they just did it all wrong. Like they literally get drunk and then they go to the other dimension. That's how they get their powers. Like they're literally
what a great message to kids.
They're literally they're literally drunk and angry. They're like,
there's hope for us. Right. We could wind up with superpowers.
Maybe right now. But it's like it couldn't be any worse than casting the kid that was recasted the Footloose remake as Reed Richards.
Right. Yeah, Reed Richards is like 17.
Right.
Yeah, Dr. Doom is like 35.
Apollo Creed's kid is Human Torch. It's like the cat. The first one had Jessica Alba at least. This one's got
Dr. Doom has like Akira powers in this one. All of a sudden.
Yeah. I mean, it could not have been worse. And it's funny because you got all these just mega type A blockbuster, comic films coming out. Then you drop that pile of toilet.
I feel like I made the right decision by not watching this movie.
Yeah, you didn't miss much.
Complete misuse of the thing. Complete.
That's what she said.
Well timed.
Yeah, it was pretty awful. But I mean, we've growing up, us, at the ages we are, we had some pretty bad stuff. There was the late 70s Super Spider-Man TV show with Nicholas Hammond. That was pretty awful. At one point we had David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury. That was not good. Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, totally. Well, we were talking like my only experience with Captain America was the cheap motorcycle with the see-through shield with the motorcycle helmet. I go, Captain America sucked when I was a kid. And now that the movies are actually good, like my experience, like Iron Man was a garbage can. Back in those old films, right? The only thing that was cool was even Wonder Woman when the new movie came out. Like I just remember her like lassoing people and like doing the spin around move.
Yeah, it was Linda Carter. Show some respect.
Yeah, I know. No, but like for us, like the cool things were for us growing up. The Incredible Hulk was 1A.
Oh yeah, yep.
That show was amazing.
Yeah,
and then Knight Rider. I mean, granted, it's not a comic, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're just for those shows you had to
Yeah.
Speaking of which, have you heard? They're remaking MacGyver. It's coming out this fall.
Is this a series?
They're remaking MacGyver.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I'm so
not Magruder.
No, MacGyver.
No.
Damn it!
Yep, they're definitely doing it. I think they're going younger, kind of like a young Indiana Jones Adventures. We're going to see like a young MacGyver.
I don't want to watch that.
I'll defuse this bomb, but first let me take a selfie. Great.
I would totally watch that. Actually, I caught an old episode of that the other night. I was in a hotel somewhere, and the resolution was so terrible, I couldn't make out the print on things because going from old school whatever to now 1080 is just. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, but we're going to see like how he got the roll of duct tape, why he uses the Swiss Army knife.
What's his motivation?
Why do you carry lemons with you everywhere?
What are his feelings like? Come on.
Why do you always have paper clips, a banana, a rubber band, and
an avocado?
Yeah, why?
Make a bomb, of course. But like have him like the old MacGyver, the senior citizen MacGyver, to where he can't remember things, but he still has to get out of sticky situations. That would be something to watch.
There was this thing that I used to do that was
MacGyver.
How did I get out of this
with
before?
Alzheimer's? You brought up Indiana Jones earlier.
Yeah.
You know what movie we want to see?
What's that?
Is that was it a comic or just a short
That was a
story?
comic.
Based on Indiana Jones finding Han Solo because Han Solo went to Earth and Chewbacca is Sasquatch and Han Solo
So
died.
Han and Chewie hit a time rip. When they go into hyperspace because of a wormhole, they wind up in the American Northwest in like the 1800s. Falcon lands in a cave.
Yeah.
Han winds up getting killed by Native Americans.
Okay.
And the Chewie takes him back to the ship and puts him in there. And Chewie is the birth of the Sasquatch legends throughout. And Indiana Jones, hearing all these rumors of a crashed mythical thing and yada yada yada, goes out and finds the Millennium Falcon with Han Solo's skeleton sitting in the chair.
I'm totally all for that. I somebody write and draw that because I'm all for.
Oh, it's a comic. It's out there.
It exists.
Oh, it exists.
Oh
yes,
yeah,
it exists.
I got to find this. Then.
I will discuss. I'll look.
We stumped the comic book guy.
No,
we win. No, I'm just
this
kidding.
is unlicensed.
I don't know what's Dark Horse.
Oh, well, no, I didn't read that. That's awesome.
So that's a good question. Going to these cons, we always joke, try to stump the, get that as a DJ, it's always stump the DJ.
Sure.
How many times you get that all day or is it just like?
Oh yeah, I get that all day. Luckily I have Mike Zapsik to my left and right because he'll come in and he'll wipe the floor with those guys.
It is called Into the Great Unknown. It was published under the Infinities label.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know. I never read it.
What year was it?
2004.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Not
a hidden gem. Till
not
now.
super long ago.
Yeah. When that broke, that was like, are you kidding me? Because we love those weird conspiracy stories.
What ifs yeah.
And yet you hate my mashups.
I totally hate your mashups.
Yeah. Speaking of both those guys, did you hear Harrison Ford got into a bar fight over the weekend?
What?
Legitimately?
Yeah, legit. Yeah, he was in a bar in Pomona, California.
Right.
And a couple of dudes just stepped up to him. They were being idiots.
Oh, come on.
And punches were thrown.
Isn't he like 72?
Yeah. Some idiot tried to.
How? Why? What?
I don't know. I think from what I read, if you find it, there was a misunderstanding. Somebody tried to take a swing at him, and if you're at a bar, you see some guy trying to punch Han Solo.
Oh,
those idiots got.
Yeah, how does
swarmed.
the entire bar not kick your ass at that point?
Exactly.
No
That's what happened. The whole
Show
bar
some respect. He was just killed by his son.
Yeah, exactly. Like what the hell? Yeah.
There was a guy. Did you see him dressed up like Kylo Ren that looked exactly?
Yeah, he looked.
And we were like, I bet you that's him. And he's just I just look like him. I just look like him.
He just happened to be in Detroit this weekend. Just wanted to walk around.
I would totally do that. I'd be like, I'm just cosplaying as him. I'm just.
There have been a couple guys who've done that. Put on rubber masks and walked around cons, and I love that. I think Ryan Reynolds did it. He's in a Deadpool costume.
Oh wow, how funny is that?
Nobody knew it.
So we talk about these crazy fan theories all the time on the show, right? And we talk about like how Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord, and the Berenstein Bears, with the time rip continuum thing. And the one just came out this week. I don't know if you got a chance to read it, but it basically said the Jedi were wiped out basically because they were using WebEx too much.
Because they were telecommuting too much.
Right, because they got lazy.
The Jedi were all killed because of lax telecommuting properties.
Right, because they were sitting, like me on my Monday mornings, I sit on WebEx calls all day instead of going in the office and putting on a suit and pants and stuff.
They all had Risky Business Fridays.
Right.
So you watched episode 1, and they're all there in person in the Jedi Council room.
Right.
You watch episode 2, there's a couple that are holograms and not really there in person. Then you see episode 3, and it's more holograms than there are actual, Jedi Council members there in the room.
They got the bear slippers on, sipping their coffee.
So they were missing. Yeah, so they had the big horns, then the robe, but no pants.
I think they just all bought Eros and their connections got better.
Right.
And they're like, why don't I go in anymore? Like before, my connection was so slow. I gotta go in. So thank you.
Heroes killed the Jedi.
Now I can connect from the now I can connect straight in from the outer rim. Life's good.
Buffering Jedi, buffering.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Jedi Council buffering 33%.
Right.
So tell you what, let's take 5.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and run our first break. Jimmy, part of this first break is just for you, just because I know your obsessions in life.
Well, this is the ITintheD show, and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Snyder from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, hot in Cleveland.
Secret Life of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D show.
ITintheD.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, and you are listening to IT in the D.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D show.
Welcome back. Segment 2, episode 144 of the IT in the D show, the Motor City Comic Con recap. We are broadcasting live in the last official show in the Podcast Detroit 1.0 studios here in Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG. Find us online, ITintheD.com, and download our app, Podcast Detroit, on Apple or iOS. I gotta do it. I just to make you roll your eyes. I gotta do that every time. And don't forget, mark your calendars.
Damn sales guys.
Thursday, May 19th, Hopcat Huma Room upstairs. Have a beer with us, or
this Thursday,
or don't. But bring your business cards and meet some cool folks in the IT industry. Should be a good turnout, as that is one of my favorite bars
little menu.
in
Like
Detroit.
it.
Absolutely. But yeah, we're hanging out. Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Men and the illustrious Ming and Mike podcast that's hosted here on Podcast Detroit.
Yes, thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you for including us, and it's been great.
We will take the restraints and handcuffs off after the 4 segments. Okay, you can just relax.
After you say the line, we'll let you go.
All right,
don't make me use the duct tape. We'll be done soon.
Right, I feel like freaking Sloth from Goonies over here, like Baby Ruth, Baby Ruth. Yeah,
there's a couple
love chunk.
There was a couple girls at Penguin Con that looked like him. So. Sorry, Nuri.
I'm going to have to experience this firsthand. So
no, actually, there was someone, Nuri, I got to tell the story. He looked like I'm wanted on 12 Systems from the Cantina scene.
Oh,
and,
my God.
I pointed out to Dave, and then we couldn't stop laughing for like 4 hours because every time she'd walk by, he goes, I don't like you. He doesn't like you either. And we just started laughing. But it was dead ringer for that guy. Like,
oh, wow.
I want to cut her arm off so bad right now.
Are you sure it wasn't that guy?
No, it looked, I swear to God. Oh, so speaking of what you missed, I don't know if I told you about it. They recreated the Cantina scene at one of the art galleries downtown, down in the ghetto in Detroit.
At the Tangent Gallery.
The Tangent Gallery. They had like the Han Solo Greedo seat with the lamps and everything.
Yeah.
Theater Bazaar that does the huge Halloween.
They were at the booth right behind us.
I saw that booth. That was great.
Yeah, so they had like the Boba Fett guys in the tuxedos, like the band. They actually played
Wesley and the Crushers.
Okay, Wesley and the Crushers, and they had like the whole cantina set up, and you had to come.
The Sice Noodles band was there. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Oh, no. They were playing on the
Max
keyboard
Rebo.
stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
God, screw me for knowing that.
Yeah, I know, right? But
Bob does that to me. He's like, "Hey, what was the name of the stupid little thing that hung out on Jabba's tail?" I'm like, "Salacious Crumb." And he's like, "Ha! You knew that."
Why is that bad?
I don't know. It's just the obscure ones. Like Marco's Bib Fortuna, and I had to think, what the hell? Which one was Bib Fortuna? Exactly.
I'm sorry. Continue with the theater.
No, but you had to be in costume only.
Oh, sure.
And it was legit. So I didn't know. I'm like, how serious could it be? And I'm like, you know what? I went all black. I'm a smuggler. What? I don't know. I don't have a. What am I going to go? Halloween USA. Dave shows up in his Luke Skywalker hockey jersey, and they're like, "Yeah, no, you can't come in."
Yeah, man.
I go, "What do you think Luke did on Tashi Station with the sand people?"
They played hockey. That's what the gaffy sticks were for. They played hockey.
It said Skywalker on the back. This is legit, so they actually let it in. But I mean, it was the set. I'll show you pictures during one of the breaks. But like, we got a chance to like sit in the seat because when we got there, it was Greedo and Boba Fett, and we're like, "Oh my god, this is so badass."
Yeah.
But they had the lamps and everything. They did just a crazy, amazing job on it.
And this was in Detroit.
Yeah. Wow. The art gallery. They do.
Awesome.
Yeah, we go there. They have different things going. They had a Mad Max after that party.
A lot of the burners do their things there. That was like a kind of post-apocalyptic Mad Max scene. It was pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
So we were talking about the Ming and Mike podcast.
Yes.
I guess let's go back to the origins podcasting. Like we started really late in the game, like 2.5 years ago. How did you start getting into podcasts and why? For us, we're as passionate about it. You're way more. That's part of your.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't my intention to even start, but the other two guys on Comic Book Men, Walt Flanagan and Brian Johnson, started a podcast, and within I think their 4th or 5th episode, they called me down to their podcast, and I'm like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And they started making fun of me. I guess I had done something egregious, but they started making fun of me, and gradually I was on their show more and more, and I I guess it was funny. They're like almost at their 300th episode. So.
Oh my god!
And I'm still the punching bag. Actually, tell them Steve Dave, their podcast.
Yeah,
it's kind of the prototype. And I got a comic book man. Basically, AMC had heard that podcast, and they're like, "Well, what about these guys that are on this podcast? They sound funny. If they can do this and translate it onto camera, even though they look really ugly."
Faces for radio. That's what we always say.
Yeah, but if they can be funny like they're on the podcast, this could work.
Sure.
And it did. So, there's hope for anybody listening to this who's also a podcaster. We got a freaking TV show out of it.
No,
it's not impossible.
Well, if you look at I used to watch when Mike and Mike in the Morning, I think was the first one where they televised. Like, we don't know what to put on ESPN2 in the morning. Let's just televise them.
Yeah, and people watched it though. I watched it.
I watched Colin Cowherd. Like, I'd rather watch that than I did do the Sports Center.
Yeah,
right?
and all they do is this. They talk into a microphone.
Yeah.
And they rant about sports.
Well, and everybody gets on us about doing video. I'm like, have you guys met us? Have you seen us? We're straight up radio guys.
Yeah.
And we never had a radio background, so to us this was all new.
It's our bar conversations. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's the same with Walt and Mike. Probably was.
Walt
and Brian. Sorry, was hey, we're pretty funny when we talk. Let's tape record this stuff. It's really what podcasting is.
Yeah, you guys tell great stories about what the present day, the past, the back in the day. Why not put it on a podcast and let everybody else hear it? And it definitely works. They've blown up already. So
well, the stuff they come up with is an absolute riot. Like, I'm trying to think of just an example of like the stuff you guys talk about, especially in the intros, the comic book men. Like, if you could be like two of these superheroes put together, like they come up with these crazy concoctions, and they're freaking hilarious. And I'm like, this is it's phenomenal. Watching, listening, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
How long did that take to get used to having cameras? Talking back about video again. It's like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Like if you observe something, it changes it, right? So.
Yeah. It took a couple days. The first 2 days you're aware they have cameras on you, so you're like, oh, I better be funny. I got you feel pressure to be funny.
Right.
So
don't pick your nose. Don't pick your nose.
Yeah, which never works. If you try too hard, at anything, it's never going to work. But gradually, the cameras kind of go away. We started, BSing like we usually do about stupid things, and it came out much better after that. But yeah, it really took only about 2 days to get used to.
Yes. And, it took us probably like 20 episodes and a lot of beer just to even find our natural voice.
Yeah,
we were trying to push our voice and we were trying to be funny and push our laughs, and it sounded awful.
I remember me coming on the show. It was like probably 30 episodes or so before I got my swing to it, right? So
and we were, it is. It's just one of those things where you have to
pretend there's not a microphone in front of you.
Well, you just have to get comfy.
Right.
And that's what we always said. Like literally, if you put mics in front of our faces at any bar we're at, you're gonna get this show. Like that's what happens.
True. Yeah,
we're gonna make fun of movies and talk about stupid stuff and.
Make fart jokes and
duct tape Ming to a chair. I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah, but, that's us. That's
this. Right. It's the City Club.
Right.
That's who we are, though. That's you. That's me. That's why it works so well. And that's what people want to hear. People want to hear you being honest.
Well, we were talking a little bit earlier about the spin-offs principle. I mean, you guys have been absolutely masterful at the spin-off, from doing Fat Man on Batman all the way on down to to everything in between.
Yeah.
I guess you guys just come up with ideas and let's just run with it and we'll split up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially Kevin. I don't know any bigger fan of Batman than him, so it was natural that he was going to start a podcast about Batman. Now his advantage is he can actually get like the Mark Hamill, like the voice of the Joker, to come on.
Right.
I don't know if he's got
He
Michael.
just lives in Grand Blanc. It's not that impressive.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll probably get Michael Keaton on at some point and Christian Bale. I mean, it's not impossible for him, which is cool. And he's already got an edge. He's Kevin Smith, but he can get more of an edge and just make it like the best Batman podcast ever. But most importantly, above all that, he's so passionate about Batman that it comes through in the podcast. So,
we went to the last
live show.
Yeah, we went to the live show. Fat Man on Batman.
Yeah.
And then I went to the one where he was at Windsor Comic Con also.
Yeah.
Over the late last August.
Yeah, you can see it. He's just masterful.
He went 4 hours and didn't breathe.
Yeah.
I've never seen him like it in my life, and we weren't bored. We didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
And we all of a sudden were like, it's over. And I look down and I go, oh my God, it's 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, you'll never accuse him of not getting your money's worth because he goes above and beyond. But you look at him up there answering questions or talking about bad. Like you see, he freaking loves
it. Yeah.
Oh, he's totally in his element.
He went an hour talking about Tusk.
That's what I was going to say.
Which is the funniest, worst story I've ever heard in my life, but I'll never forget it. And that movie is the biggest. I don't know if it's genius or if it's awful or everything in between.
It's awfully awesome.
Right. It's kind of like the Toxic Avenger where it's so bad it's good.
It's great, yeah.
Yeah. Just the story on how they got made is mind-boggling. How he got Johnny Depp to play this like off-the-wall character, and he went so deep into the character he was answering the phone as
Gila Point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and how he had a prosthetic nose. He was like, "Hey, check this out. It looks like a cock, doesn't it?"
Right.
Right.
And apparently now he's doing Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah,
I just saw that
news
this
just
morning.
broke. Yeah. So I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like, so like whether it's doing the filming inside, the podcast studio that's in the back of the room. I mean, like, we had Ashley Golden here, and so like, how long does it take to film a typical episode? Does it interfere with the other stuff you guys are trying to do?
No, not really. If you break it down, so this is how it works. We start shooting in July, and we shoot straight through until September, and they cut it up into 16 episodes. So I guess if you did the math, I guess maybe it takes a week.
Right.
To film an episode, but the way it works, like people bring in stuff to sell or buy or sell.
Yeah,
we'll shoot that. We'll shoot like 3 of those each day for like 2 weeks, and then Kevin will come in, and that's when we do the podcast set, and we'll talk about all the stuff that came in or all the stuff that we sold. We'll do that for 2 days, 2 or 3 days straight. Kevin leaves, and we do it all over again. So yeah, it's very easy. You'll never hear us complain about how arduous it is. Because I talked to some of the Walking Dead guys. They're like, "Oh man, how does it work?" I'm like, "Listen, this is going to sound really lame, but we shoot in the same location every day from like 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. It's air conditioned.
Exactly. It's our back room.
Pretty much. Well, these guys are like rolling around in the mud, like laying down on hot asphalt.
In 140-degree Georgia days, summers. Yeah,
right. They have they're splattered in fake blood. I'm like, listen, like this is going to sound really lame compared to what you guys do, but yeah, this is how it works. So,
well, that's what Ashley was saying. They only want to portray the crazy stuff that goes on in that pawn store, right?
Yeah.
So, like, she goes, I do 73 takes. 72, I'm really happy, and people buy stuff, and they're happy. The 73rd, all hell would break loose. That's the only one they would put on the show, and she became like this. When she got booked on the show, I'm like, oh my god, she's awful, and she was the coolest human being we've ever. And then we got deep into how they portray her,
right.
Like all the story.
Well, and I'm sure it's the same thing with the stash. You probably got like 87 people that walk in with just, hey, I want to sell this book. Hey, I want to buy this book. Okay, here's money. Here's the book. Cool, done. Yeah, that's never going to make the air.
Yeah,
but it almost like, I mean, do you have people that reach out and say, hey, I'd like to come in and do this while you're taping?
Actually, anybody can be on the show. There's a website. It's at comicbookmencasting.com. If you think you might have something cool that you're really willing to sell, if we give you the right price.
Okay.
Or there's something cool you might want to buy that we might have.
Dig through your crap in the basement.
Yeah, no, seriously. If you're listening to this, seriously, dig through your crap. If you think you might have something cool.
Because we've got a stockpile of stuff that isn't used, is sitting in where you suck, Dave, and you know it. It's so good, and it's all cobwebs and dust and
not a whole lot of it. So like a lot of it, I let my the kids open up and play with. And that
I'm not talking about the toys.
Yeah, no. So, but I've got like the I got the original Darth Vader in packaging with the light and I've got that.
Yeah,
I've got some really cool art and stuff like that. I mean that's to me.
He's got the Matt Bush Darth Vader on the throne 6 foot wide, that would go perfect above his living room couch. You'd think he'd fight his wife to do it? No.
Really, where's your Flash Gordon painting, asshole?
Downstairs.
There you go.
No, seriously, dig through that stuff. Find what you think might be the most interesting piece. I'd love to see you on the show.
Oh, we'll load up the car. We'll take a road trip this summer.
I would love to see you on the show. And so we do that, but in between whatever we shoot, we let customers in. It's still a working store. So and some of them while we're shooting, if customers want to be in the background extras, you got to sign a release. But you can hang out there, and they're just like, all right, look like you're shopping. Like, okay, we can
go.
Yeah, we can do that.
Stop looking at the camera.
Well, that was when I was in Vegas. I got picked up by a cab, and it was the New York lady from Taxi Cab Confessions from HBO, and I recognized her immediately. And I go,
"It's a trap."
And I go, "Oh, hey, Taxi Cab Confessions." And I go, "Oh shit, did I just ruin my chance to be on the show?" She's like, "Baby, it's in daylight still. You're not going to be on the show." And I'm like, I go, "So you actually drive a cab for a living?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "How cool is that?" But like, people are probably like hamming it up. Do you get that? I'd figure there'd be like that. Those guys that want to be a ham and I'm going to be on the show. And you kind of overact.
You get some. I think before they get you on the show, you send in a little video so they can kind of get a gauge of your personality. So. You'll get some guys who ham it up a little bit. I mean, as long as it's not overdone or overblown, it'll work. We did have one girl come in, and we had found out later on that she drank like a fifth of Jack before she got on there.
That would be us.
So, in her segment aired too, you can see she's drunk. She's slurring her words.
I'm so behind.
Yeah, and then after she left, we were like, "Did you guys smell something funny?" And it turned out in the middle of her segment taping, she wet herself. She peed herself.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
She peed herself.
That's amazing.
I do remember that episode. Oh my god!
What was she selling?
I don't know if I'll mention. I'll tell you guys after.
Oh, yeah. That's I just want to look it up.
It was episode number.
Yeah. Names have been changed to predict.
It's a nice little Easter egg. Like out there, it's an episode during season 5. So,
okay.
Yeah.
But I watched all of season 5.
And just renewed for season 6.
Yes, yeah. I know. Crazy, right?
It's great.
Yeah, and my benchmarks are old 70s TV shows. Like Bionic Woman got 3 seasons. 6 Million Man got 5 seasons. So we've officially
made it longer than
surpassed Steve Austin.
That was the best thing that guy brought in was he recreated the Bigfoot mask.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the cool. I want it so bad.
I saw that guy at the con too. He was at Motor City Comic Con.
Was he really?
Yeah. He came up. He's like, "Don't you remember?" I was like, "Oh my god!"
Did you see that episode, Dave? Yeah. He recreated like the Steve. That was like when you were a kid. That was the episode of all time when $6 Million Man like beat up Bigfoot and ripped his arm out. And it was like when you're an 8-year-old kid, man. It was like. Jimmy's looking at me.
I'm a 90s kid. All that stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's like, we'll talk Power Rangers in segment 4, Jimmy. No, I'm just kidding.
We gave him his Jason David Frank fix. He's good.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the first time that Steve Austin, the $6 Million Man, faced something of equal strength on that show.
Yeah.
Before that, I was like, oh, you got to go after a bank robber, like some fat guy, like trying to steal money out of.
It's kind of like the A-Team. It's like, at what point, do you guys get all mad? Like, you guys beat everyone. Like, the most ridiculous. We want to hire you because they stole our corn farm. Well, we'll do it.
And bring the 4 ex-military commandos to wipe out the horse thieves.
Right. No, but I thought you always think about what would be a good remake. The $6 Billion Man. Like today would be freaking amazing. I know they tried to like RoboCop was kind
Dan
of
Gilbert,
right? Speaking of bad remakes, they broke my heart with the new RoboCop. Just ripped it out of my rib cage. They bastardized and ruined that amazing film.
There was no reason to remake that. It was the first one was perfect.
You could we talk about this all the time, but the way when I like a remake, it's kind of like Mad Max, where it's this continuation, right? And like the bad guy in Fury Road was Toe Cutter in the '79 Mad Max, right? And you're like, well, is it still Toe Cutter? And then the theory is that Tom Hardy was the little cave monkey boy, like reliving or like. Living in Mad Max's footsteps, like I'm Max now, taking over. Like, and it makes you think.
Yeah, be clever about it.
Yeah,
for sure.
We're like continue like Point Break. Like, they should have been like guys sitting around a campfire going, "Hey, you remember those stories about those guys in '91 that did all this crazy? Let's do that too." Instead, it's a toilet. They use the same names. Like, come on, can't have Pappas be a fat British guy?
No. Ghostbusters,
right?
There's apparently no connection to the old movie at all whatsoever.
Oh, come on.
None.
Oh, no, because there's cameos from Aykroyd and
not as
Murray.
Them.
Shut up.
Not as...
don't make me hate that movie more.
Just saying.
But you know what I'm saying? When it makes sense to do give... like Star Wars, bring back Han Solo. I mean, they did a little bit too much.
Right.
But bring them, tie it together.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's what we want to see.
I don't care, we're all nostalgic.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason. There's no reason to really remake anything. But if you're going to do it. Do it clever. Okay? There's no shortage of good writers and good movie makers.
Because not only are they remaking MacGyver, Bob.
Don't tell me.
Lethal Weapon is going to be a TV series on CBS in the fall.
I'm getting too old for this shit. I was waiting for that one. No, but it's the worst thing is that they do that destroys me. And I know we're beating a dead horse here, but like a Hulk every 3 years with a different Bruce Banner, a Spider-Man with great. You're the CFO of Facebook is Spider-Man now. That's great. Or
Lex Luthor.
That's why he's mad because everybody calls him Mark Zuckerberg. That's why he's got such a chip on his shoulder. He got cast in the wrong movie, and now
he's cranky.
What a toilet Lex Luthor. Anyway.
Horrible.
It is. Break. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back. We're going to talk more Ming Chen, more Motor City Comic Con, more comic book men. This is the.
We should probably involve Jimmy and Randy at some point.
Yeah, who?
They actually just went home.
Who? This is the ITintheD show. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Jeremy London from Mallrats, and I'm just wondering, how did I go from Hot Floridian Sex with Brandy Spinning to the ITintheD show?
ITintheD. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT in the D Show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
Welcome back, segment 3, episode 144, the We Survived Motor City Comic Con edition of the IT in the D Show. We're broadcasting live here in Podcast Detroit, the last official show of our 1.0 studio. We are moving on to bigger and better things.
It's kind of bittersweet.
It is. This is Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG. Find everything you need to know about us. ITintheD.com. Bunch of tabs to a bunch of blogs to help you in your career. A bunch of stuff.
Our events.
Our meat page, which is MEET, not MEAT.
Still don't have the private label meat sticks.
Even though Randy hooked us up, he brought like a smorgasbord of meat sticks.
A veritable plethora.
Yeah, exactly.
Costco's out of meat sticks at this point, actually.
Oh, totally.
No, so I mean, I guess that's a good segue. So I mean, we talked a little bit about the potential of podcasting, and I guess let's use us as an example. And so literally a year ago, because it made my head hurt. It was 1 year to the day that we made the announcement that we were moving to this studio, that we made the announcement that we were moving to the new place. A year ago today was our first episode here. A year ago, and now here we are. This is our last episode here. And this was going to be our own little private man cave. This is all it was. I mean, we built the studio for us. And then it took all of 2-3 weeks before people started doing the guys.
Here you got a new studio.
Yeah,
you had this kick-ass studio. You're using it for 2 hours a week. Stop being dicks. Open the doors. And do a podcast.
Our old studio was where they did the filming for Batman v Superman. Yeah. A bunch of M&M videos at the Russell Industrial Center.
Right. I don't know if you got a chance. Been grown there. It
smelled like a Cheech and Chong movie.
24/7.
And anytime we brought a female guest in, she was scared.
I'm not using the restroom in this building.
Right. You have to walk me to my car.
Oh yeah, it looked like we would warn it because we would always meet at a bar beforehand. We were like, look, okay, we're gonna head over to the studio.
Right.
It's gonna look like we're taking you to a torture porn set. We're not. We swear to God.
All right, humble beginnings.
Yeah, right. Well, so and yes, I mean, and over the course of the past year, I mean, our show has continued to grow, and we did. So I mean, last July, July 25th, we opened the doors and started a network. And now we're at 50 odd shows, with about another 12 to 15 that are going to come on board with the move to the new studio because we've been holding them at arm's length because we didn't have time slots for them. And then
God knows how many we picked up at Motor City Comic Con. That's all we talked
some
about.
More folks that wanted to come in. So I mean, there's potential. Not just from the podcasting side of it, because you get enough growth, you can get advertisers will start reaching out. Because it's always the big question: is how do I monetize?
Right. How do I make money?
We had to start. Ashley Gold, he came over and sat down with us and pulled the whole literally just said, okay, guys, we need to stop screwing around and let's work together. You guys are clearly doing it right. Let's do this.
It's like, wow, you fooled her.
Exactly.
Great job, guys. Totally. Excellent job.
But I mean, and it's if that's your and that was one of the things that came up in the podcasting panel that you did, where if that's your expectation walking in, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be doing it because dollars. You should be doing it because you have something that you're passionate about. And you have a message, and you want to get that out there. And
that's infectious.
And if you do that right, dollars will follow to some degree.
Yeah, I learned in this short life of mine that if you do things just for the money, it's not going to work out.
Nope.
It never works out. Do it because you love it. Do it because you love it.
Well, because you can tell, like you just mentioned earlier, when Kevin gets on stage, you can tell he loves it, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing I always got.
Yeah, there's nobody walking out of one of his shows going, "I would like a refund."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, never. I don't think that's ever happened.
No, but I get that when I'm in sales, like going, obviously you're passionate about this. I'm like, well, yeah, I wouldn't be selling it. That's not. Otherwise, I'd be fleecing you.
Right.
I feel like, you know what I mean. I have to be,
Yeah, I'd be lying to you. I don't like to lie to people.
Yeah, but it's obvious. Obviously, it's obvious. Walt and Brian and everybody's like just live, and Mike and you and just live, breathe comics and that all the sci-fi stuff your entire life. I mean, if anybody thinks otherwise, they're not. I don't know what they're listening or watching.
Yeah, or either we're really good actors, which I am not. So I am not.
Well, and so we've got Jimmy here in the studio with us, who runs the Ninja Starship podcast on Sundays here on the network. And I have never seen it, and I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass, but I'm just going to be honest with you, dude. You are so freaking committed to what it is that you're doing. And I mean, you drive yourself to cons in Kentucky, to go like host panels and that kind of stuff. Cause you're so passionate about this stuff.
Yeah, man.
And that's why your show is catching on. And we had people that were stopping by our booth looking for you. And not just the one guy that wanted to make sure you had his damn books.
Yeah, Josh.
But I mean, it's, people that are like, oh yeah, I listened to Jimmy's show and that's awesome. Like that's how that's supposed to be.
Dave, I mean, not to cut you off, Jimmy, but it's like when you're engaging and you're passionate, your bright eyes. Like we talked about this when we were walking down Artist Alley. You had Dom here from Motown Mojo Live.
Yep.
He's Arcane Awakening. And he's standing up and he's shaking hands and he's being funny and he's engaging. And then the guy across the way was picking his fingernails, looking at the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
look at the table.
Who are you going to buy art from? I don't care. You're not buying it because the art. Oh my God, this art's amazing. You're buying it because you have a connection. You got an autograph. You got a signature. And it's
because when somebody's walking by, walking down Artist Alley, you've got what, 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah. If that.
As somebody's just like, their head's on a swivel, they're walking around.
Yeah.
You got 4 or 5 seconds to make eye contact and get them in and go with it. And Kelly's really good at that. Nemzik.
Yeah.
She had a good con as well. Why? She's always standing, back there and engaging people.
But like I said, like, you were saying with Jimmy, like you work the room, good things are going to happen.
Yeah.
You're not burning bridges. You're keeping your head above. You're working the room hard.
Even the ones that need to be, but
no, but you're doing all the right things. And that's what me and him always said. Like the show had organic growth. We couldn't stop talking about it. If I talk about podcasting more. I'm almost replacing it as my business card. Where like it's become a conversation piece at work. I work for the biggest IT company in the world. I go to call on customers. We talk podcasting for half of the sales call. It just it becomes this thing where just you can't get rid of it.
That's so true, man, and I really appreciate all the kind words, honestly. But
we mean it. We do.
It's something that's completely infectious. Like, yeah, you do start to have fun.
Well, and let's be honest. So this, like, for those of you who don't know Jimmy, you go. It's ninjastarpod.com.
Yep.
You go to this website and you see all of this Power Rangers shit, and you're like, oh my God, this basement dwelling dork has got to be like and then there's you.
When Jason David Frank saw him walking up, he's like, oh shit, not this guy again.
You've got I mean, you're Mr. Blue Collar guy, and you've got the sleeve, the tats and all that, and you don't look the part of what one would expect from that kind of show.
Yeah, it's true. I hear that a lot because like people will be like, wait, that's your show? I'm like, yeah, I know, right?
We thought you were part of that Mayhem crew that's on Wednesday night.
Are you a JDF fanboy? Like super
hardcore,
fanboy?
Man. Yeah,
wow,
hardcore.
Yes, Power Rangers was a little after my time. And I only know JDF from meeting him at cons as a fellow guest. So to me, it's just this dude who has a massively long line and a big following.
Oh yeah,
like I don't get it. Like I don't get. I know he's one of the most he is the most well-known Power Ranger. What he does on social media is great. Treats his fans really well, from what I see. But like I don't have that frame of reference where he's Tommy the Green Ranger. And you have that. Like I don't get it though. So
that brought me back to
these damn kids today.
Yeah,
that brought me back to my Ultraman Johnny Sacco days.
Oh sure,
and that's why I continued with Power Rangers, even though it was a little bit hokey.
Yeah,
but then I'm like, Johnny Sacco was way cooler. And then I got old bootlegs of that, and I go, oh my God, that's way worse.
Yeah, and I respect him. He knows he actually does martial arts. I think he's cool.
Big time.
But like, I just don't get this.
MMA guy was going to whip CM Punk's ass.
Yeah. But I don't get the massive fandom.
Well,
so
and you started. You were the guy in the basement with the mic and the laptop and that kind of stuff. When you started, you were on Pod Bros. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I started doing it in my bedroom. And it's funny because it's funny because Motor City Comic Con kind of marks that 1 year thing for me as well, because it was not even 2 months before that I'm working second shift, sweeping the shop floor, listening to I Sell Comics and everything on Smodco, and I'm going, I could do this too. Like, these guys are just being friends.
These guys suck. I can do this better.
That's why I said during the panel. Like, if us sucking inspired you, so be it, man. That's still inspiration.
Yeah.
And I get to Motor City Comic Con. I end up in a podcast panel. And, I find out from these guys, Drunk on Comics, who are running the podcast panel, that, I was following the right steps. I was getting the right equipment. I was doing the right things. And a year later, I'm in that seat telling people how to do this. And I'm sitting next to Ming Chen on a podcast right now. And I'm in a studio versus my bedroom. And
we ran into you at Fantasticon, where we met Ming.
Yeah, and it just, the what you get out of this, really what you put into it. If you go balls to the wall, the sky's the limit. I mean, space is the place. Oh, yeah.
Cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop.
At the end of the day, we always talk about at the end of the day, if the worst thing that happens is you tape record the dick and fart jokes you talk about with your buddies, it's a damn good day.
It is.
Like I said, if I would kill 3 illegal aliens if I could get all those cassette tapes from me doing the dubs when I was like a kid to like Joker's Wild and all that.
That just took a really dark turn.
I was trying to think of something sinister on the fly.
Maybe you talk about this on the pod. I'm going to start listening. Have you done the JDF like meet and greets where you pay the extra money and you get to?
I did, yeah.
Have you done the karate class? Have you taken his karate class?
No, but I do have a friend that did the karate class.
Okay, yeah. Every con he does a karate class. It's supposed to be for like little kids. But I've seen the videos. I've seen some like awkward adults.
I had no shame. I would pay. I would go.
Yeah, and then you can pay extra to get.
But that's a guy that genuinely likes to be there. And genuinely likes the fans. And you can tell he's not an Andrew McCarthy that builds a fort around his head so people don't walk by and take selfies.
Right.
Like, he wants to be there.
Yeah.
Or Skolnick, we remember you.
Oh my God. Did I tell you about that when we were at the con?
No.
That was the worst experience.
What happened?
I'm a Revenge of the Nerds slappy. I sing one foot in front of the other when I'm vacuuming in the house when I vacuum.
So never.
Never, right? But like, you meet Takashi and dude, what a nice human. Like, if I would invite him over for dinner, he would have come over. Oh, what an amazing human being.
Yeah.
Booger, same thing. He's local.
Yeah,
so
Curtis
he said, like,
Armstrong.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, between Booger and Charles DeMar, those are like two of my favorite characters of all time.
Value of this mountain is?
Yeah. And then you meet Skolnick and he's just like, like I farted in his face. This is
like he's having the worst day ever.
It's like, what's so bad? What is the worst thing that could happen today? Someone says you're awesome. That's the worst thing that could happen today.
Yeah, in most cases, and they're paying you to do it too. It's so weird. Yeah, I mean, as a guy, I've probably been to over 50 cons at this point. Like, I just don't get those.
So, like, I was gonna say now. So, like, do you find going con to con? Because, like, we said there's like always one or two.
Oh yeah.
That are just in that mindset where it is the worst day of their lives right then.
Yeah, absolutely. Every con there's one or two. So so when you meet the gems. It's great when you meet the Katrina Laws, and the Leah Thompsons of the world, or or the JDFs. It's really it makes it more fun.
Well, I guess it comes to a time and a point where there's a breaking point. Like the guy from Walking Dead, Michael. I keep calling Michael Kadire. That's a center fielder for for the Indians.
Whatever his name. Yeah,
Cudlitz, Michael Cudlitz.
Yeah. Thank you. But he's like, someone asked for a selfie, and he's like, I'm so pictured out. And
this was he was being genuine at the bar Sunday night after the con. He walked up, and somebody asked for it, and he was like, I got to be honest with you, fans, I love it, it's great, but I can't, I don't have any more pictures in me right now.
Right.
Please understand. You got to respect that.
Basically, like working a 12-hour day or even longer, right? So,
you've got to be on.
Yes,
because like you've got to be happy fun guy that's there at the guy.
It's like performing. It's totally performing.
No, but see, the one thing I never understood is like remember I told you I got a buddy that was like a pseudo rock star. He sold
Siren.
out. Yeah, he sold out Red Rocks.
Daryl.
He got in a VW commercial. He was real close to getting signed Be Big, and he's dropped the one song that was the VW commercial that was his best song. And it's like the Police. It's like saying I'm not going to play Roxanne anymore because I'm tired of it. It's like that's why we're here. John Schneider, we're here because of Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, nobody cares about the new hits. Just play the classics.
Yeah, and it's like if you're at a con and you're sitting in a bar and like someone wants to selfie, like when I was wearing that stupid Pabst Blue Ribbon sport coat that I bought, I must have taken 50, 60 selfies with people.
Yeah.
He is all over people's Facebook walls today as that jackass in the con with the PBR coat.
It's like every corner we turn, it's like, hey, love your jacket. Hey, love your jacket. I'm like, I'm just wearing a hoodie.
Right.
No, but I'm surprised and I'm happy. Like, I guess, I don't know if there would be a breaking point. I guess, when you run into people constantly and you're always on, you're happy. I think just because you're a happy person.
I am happy. Yeah. I am happy. But I can understand. Like at the end of the day at the bar, like if you don't want to do it, that's good. Especially Cudlitz is such a great guy.
Yeah,
he's on that. He's on my list of super cool con guests as well, for sure, and great guys. But I'm just happy to be there. Like I feel like the whole AMC The Walking Dead, like they're World Series champions. Like I'm not even the bat boy. I'm in the stadium,
right?
Like mopping up peanut shells, but I'm in the ballpark. That's all.
I'm there.
Well, that's all that matters to me.
The people that we don't get at the cons, which are my favorite, are like the puppeteer for like that really obscure character in like Return of the Jedi, and you're like
Salacious Crumb,
right, or whatever, and you're like, and people are taking pictures, and it's like even like when.
Well, I felt bad for the guy that played
Fett?
Twinkie.
Oh yeah,
I'm completely blanking on his name. But yeah, they had him like in the middle of an aisle with all the salespeople booths,
right?
Like and not over like with any of the other guests. I was like, aw,
poor guy. Yeah, I'm sure.
I guess he was a nice guy.
Felix, it'll come to me.
No, but like he was the cousin It. Like I didn't know he was all these different characters. Kind of like Larry Kenny was like, I didn't know you were Cocoa Puffs. I didn't know you were Best Week Ever. But yeah, no, it's the. I guess at the end of the day, it's you're getting paid to like smile, so freaking smile.
Right.
It's not rocket science.
Of course, you're getting paid to play basketball, hit a freaking free throw. Just saying.
No potty shots.
I guess for me, I'm smiling already anyways, so it's it's all gravy. It's all gravy. I truly love it. I truly love it. I mean, I'd be going to cons anyways.
But I think you're one of the few though that actually wants to explore the town. Like you're not like I follow all the other people for the cons, but I don't think most of them just are doing like when I go on a business trip, right?
Yeah.
It's airport, hotel, office building, hotel, airport.
God, that's my worst nightmare, going to like a cool city that you've never been to before and not exploring it.
I travel so much for work. It happens.
I couldn't stand that. So usually when I go to a con, I'll stay an extra day or two.
Yeah.
And I'll go find all the cool stuff. I find out where all the people who live there hang out. I'll find the cool restaurants.
So what's your top, I don't want to say top 5 list, but what are some of your favorite? I know Tom's Tavern is one of your favorite spots
here at Detroit?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom's Tavern, Lafayette, Coney Island, 2 James in Corktown, Slow's Barbecue. Right across from 2 James, a new Thai place opened up called Katoy.
I saw the pictures of that. It looks awesome.
And
it said like the Blade Runner place?
Yeah, it looks like the Blade Runner noodle bar in Detroit.
He say you Blade Runner.
Yeah, he say you Blade Runner. Yeah. It's so great. The Pegasus Taverna in Greektown, amazing.
So do you remember back when that was Trapper's Alley?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that was like all open and like that was when we were 16. That's where we'd go to like Blues Fest, Jazz Fest, whatever it was. Fest at Hart Plaza, and then walk through Trappers and try to sneak into the nightclub with fake IDs.
Yeah. And, old school Detroit, man.
Yeah.
Back when, I admire you for even going down there. Like it's cool. When I was growing up here, I never went to Detroit. There was no reason to. Like you had a chance of getting shot though if you went down there.
We went to the shelter, like we and then
City Club.
Yeah, City. Oh wow, we were at City Club constantly. If you ever been there, that's like in the basement of the Leland Hotel.
Yeah.
Walking through hallways, getting patted down. That was one of my favorite stories of all time. I had a couple buddies here from Germany, and they wanted to go there because they loved the music, all the goth industrial, the heavy.
Yep.
And I was DJing at the Post Bar, and my required uniform was pretty much like a Hawaiian shirt and shorts and sandals. And they're like, after bar, we're going to City Club. I go, dude, look how I'm dressed. Because everybody's in black leather and bondage gear. So I walk into the front door, and I'm the first guy in, right?
Yeah.
And then the bouncer, oh my God, gives me a hug and get your ass on in, man. Good to see you. Don't keep in touch. Give me a call. The guy that's patting you down, the bouncer, he's like, dude, gives me a hug and pats me in. And then I look back and they're like, who the F are you? And I'm like, I went to high school with him. This guy runs the data center I sold colo to.
Okay, cool.
I know the bartender because he works at the Post where I work at, So here I'm the punk guy because I wear a Hawaiian shirt. You guys all look the same.
Yeah.
You're the conformist.
So you bunch of conformists.
You guys aren't cool. I'm the cool one.
But see, here when we were 19, you go to Canada.
Oh, yeah. I would drive right past Detroit and go to Windsor. And,
we all did, yeah. Wednesday, and then it was $1 to $1.50.
Oh, God, it was great. It was great going to like Jason's, getting lap dances for $5.
Oh, yeah, and you felt like you won the lottery just hitting the exchange rate, but the exchange booth.
We'd all pitch in $20. Yep. There's 5 of us. We'd have 100. We'd get 150 Canadian.
Yeah.
And then one guy would be treasurer.
Treasurer,
like
Monopoly?
Yeah. No, like you buy the Molson Dries and then you make sure we have $5 left for toll. Make sure we have $15 left for $3 hot dogs from the vendor. Like it was just this orchestration, but we had it down to a science. Tip $3 because that's all we can afford.
Yep. Yeah, although those Canadian strippers see the U.S. money, they're
the toonies. You got to give them the $2 coin.
Where do you put the quarters?
Use your imagination.
I saw you hit Astoria Bakery. That's like that's a must hit.
Yeah, I was there with Katrina and Ivy Doomkitty, and we were literally we started at one end of the dessert case.
Yeah.
And we went down to the other because we'll take one of those. We had like 20 different desserts in front of us. It was awesome.
Well, see, now Old Shillelagh, that's the place we went to for 20 years for St. Patty's.
Yeah.
That's the quintessential. They put up big, huge tents. And I don't know if you saw it when it was at the total end of the.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a normal bar normally, but the guy would play. They have an actual guy from Ireland playing upstairs. He'd always play the same 15 songs on repeat, with his guitar.
Yeah, it's great down there. And I went and visited the new Volta Midnight. So, that whole block has been built up.
Yep.
And it's all hipster and it's cool. There's like the Punch Bowl Social with the bowling alley in it.
Right.
And a place called Standby, which looks amazing. That whole alley.
Standby is like one of the best bars in Detroit right now.
Yeah.
They poached some guy from Ferndale here to open up down there, and it's incredible.
Yeah. So
area's on fire.
Yeah, so I literally I got here 5 days ago. I've driven down to Detroit 4 times. Wow. Like basically each night I've
When was the
gone
last
down
time you
there.
were here? I
was here in November. There was Fantasticon. That's where I met these guys.
Got it. So it's not like you're seeing the big change, but like when did you first start to notice? Since you've moved.
No, that was it. Before that, I never really came down here, but I started doing research. And when we were up in November, we were kind of stuck in Mount Clemens. So Mike and I rented a car. And I was like, I'll show you the real Detroit. So we drove around all day, like from the morning right to the end, right till like 1, 2 in the morning. And we hit everything. We hit Corktown. We hit both Lafayette and American. We hit Tom's Tavern. We went to a lot of places.
Real Detroit.
So there's 2 places right around within half a mile of this place. The Oakland, which we talked about.
Yes.
And then Valentine Distillery. We're friends with the owner, Rufino Valentine.
Yeah, are they both closed today?
They're both closed today.
Okay, I saw another place we could go to. There's a whole list.
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
We'll find some.
Yeah, even freaking Tom's is closed today. I thought they never took a break.
Imperial may be your best option.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I totally go there. Like, it was tacos and booze. Yeah.
They used tacos and tequila. It's so good.
Well, that was the thing with Tom's is you guys were amazed, like the bar's crooked. And when you tell the story, like, no, they don't steal from you. The bar is literally crooked.
Yeah,
it's not centered properly.
It slopes down.
Right. My eyebrow went up. I'm like, wait a second.
It is not level.
Yeah. I don't know what. I love that place so much. If you haven't,
have you been to
there.
Nancy Whiskey's?
No, that was on the list. Are they open today?
Go there.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the one.
All right, well, tell you what, let's take our last break for the night. We'll look at a couple places.
Yeah, we'll start
in the bar.
We'll make some decisions, and then we'll come back and roll.
Cool. This is the IT in the D show, and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hey guys, it's Time Hawk, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the ITintheD show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D show.
Welcome back, and I wish I could get some violin music queued up or something, because this is the last segment of the last show in the Podcast Detroit 1.0 building above Activate Gaming here on Hilton Road in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. It's going to be sad to see it go, but on to bigger and better things.
That's right.
Moving to Royal Oak.
Moving on up.
Walking distance to Main Street.
We keep moving north. Is that a thing that's going to happen? Or?
No.
No,
it's wherever
this is step one.
Wherever the pod takes us.
Red tape or red carpets. I go for the red carpets. This is Bob. This is Bob the sales guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nerdy the FNG. Find us online, ITintheD.com. Meet up this Thursday, May 19th. Hopcat Huma Room. No sales pitches, no covers, no buttholes. Just good IT networking
and delicious beer
and amazing beer. Yeah. Good food. Crack fries.
I was going to say I'm excited to try the crack fries. I've never been.
Loaded tots are good too.
I like Rally's fries better, but that's me.
Hold on, is Detroit? Is there really crack in them?
Valid question.
Very valid. They never
the
told
way people
us.
lined up for them when they opened, you would think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Free crack fries for a year if you like at 7 a.m. on a Monday, and
people stopped reading it. Free crack.
I admire you guys. You guys keep failing upwards. It's great.
It's I did. I have a buddy of mine who might be listening from high school, Alan, who told me once upon a time, and he mentioned it at the reunion not too long ago. He said, "Dude," he said, "what pisses me off about you the most is that you have this really annoying habit of falling up."
Yeah. But, I mean, you look at all the successful people, that's what they did. It's the secret to success, man.
Well, and it's one of those things where, it's like luck and opportunity will only bring you so far, and then you have to bust your ass to make it happen. Because we've busted our asses to make this happen and make it grow.
No, because I don't know what it is that I say or do, but we were talking to so many people at the con, we're like, I had my doubts about you, but 3 minutes of talking, I'm sold. Like, it's good. And I'm like, I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. It's funny how just like a smile and a pat on the back.
Yep.
So, and speaking of which, we had a little conversation over the break. We did figure out what bar we're going to. We're not going to tell. I would say we're not going to tell all you internet weirdos where that is, but we've got the number one internet weirdo here in the studio with us, Randy. So, and I guess so Randy, what made you decide that you were going to spend your Monday nights MST3King our show?
Good question.
Because we appreciate it. Don't get us wrong.
I don't even remember how I found out about your show, but the first show I heard about was with Ellen Langer doing the Apprentice stuff.
Okay.
I tuned into that show for the contest you were doing to give away a free seat in one of his classes.
Okay.
And I liked the show, so I just kept listening. Eventually started listening live. It's a little weird because normally I listen to my podcast at 2x speed.
Okay.
So it's a little weird, a little slower in person or listening live.
Well, I thought it flew by when we were here. I can't imagine us at 2x.
No, we always have a thing where we're afraid of Twitter. People from Twitter that have pseudonyms and not their real picture up.
Yeah.
And then we start seeing tweets like, we're going to get destroyed by this guy. Yeah. And we're just like, just be nice. Just be nice and wait. Yeah, exactly.
Wait for it.
Yeah. So then just started listening and then started tweeting. You talk about a lot of things that, kind of timely. Sometimes happen the week of the show. The show doesn't get out until, Wednesday?
Yeah, usually Tuesday, Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday live. So sometimes, you miss this week, you might miss the meetup.
Yeah.
So figured I'd start tweeting you guys links and you could just retweet them, save you time to actually type them up yourselves.
It works out.
We always say we need to meet people. So it's always nice.
Yeah.
So
it's great. And the stuff you tweet, you give some commentary to the show too.
Yeah.
So not only are you just retweeting things we say, you're like, hey, but this too.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of great.
Well, it's not like the Mike Dennis that only tweets when I'm wrong. You're wrong, Bobby. I know.
So I'll bring in fun things like the alpaca farm.
Yeah, so that's my exact idea was the alpaca farm.
Bob bought a stuffed alpaca.
I bought for my 2-year-old. I bought her an alpaca, and I gave it. She called it a llama, a llama. She can't say her L's yet. She's llama all day.
Was it from that Lift Detroit store?
No, it was at the con. It's from one of the Japanese
I saw that
stores.
sitting on the table.
Yeah. That's why you bought that.
Fun. Yeah,
because you're all like, "Look what I got!" I'm like, "Cool." What?
Oh no, not to
Captain
get
Power Rangers is mocking your.
No, not judging.
Just curious. There's a kid's book called Llama Llama Mad at Mama, and every time you read it to her, she giggles like belly laughs. So I'm like, I got to get this damn. I saw it. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, you know what? Speaking of which not funny for her, but funny for what we want to do at the con now. We had an idea there that it would be hilarious to us, not to anyone else, to like Photoshop, like if I would come up and meet you for the first time, right, and you'd sign an autograph, to have an 8x10 of like me and you and Photoshop, like in front of like the Eiffel Tower, or like Photoshop, like find someone that's good at Photoshop,
like find a picture like a picture of you off the internet,
right,
and then like Photoshop yourself into that photo,
like
and then print it out as an 8x10 and bring that to have signed.
I would love to see
like
that.
in front of the Egyptian pyramids, and like
actually, wait, some kid did that.
What, really?
He took a still of me and Mike from the podcast studio from Comic Book Ben. And he photoshopped himself in between us. And it looked good. It looked like he was there with us. And I was like, that's awesome, dude. So, yeah, he had me and Mike sign it. And they came back the next year and showed us. And like he hung it up on his wall or something.
It's been done.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah, but this was like a 10-year-old kid. I was like, wow, man, like if we got the 10-year-olds, like we should be good.
Well, the pictures they were taking at the con made me laugh because my friend got a picture of like Ian Ziering, and like Ian Ziering.
Ian. If you say Ian, he gets really mad.
Ian Ziering. No,
Ian.
I said it just because of that.
To get him mad?
Andrea.
Okay.
Ian. But no, he was hugging my friend, and then her husband was on the other side, and it looks like a cheesy family photo.
It's like it looks like so. If you look at Ian and Stacy, it looks like your stereotypical like pregnancy announcement photo.
Oh yeah, it's totally
like they both got their hands over her belly,
no.
But then off to the right, you've got her husband with the WTF look on his face, and it was awesome.
It's 100% Olin Mills,
But I go, you got to put that in like the hallway with like your pictures with your parents, your wedding pictures. I go, it fits because it's so like. And I don't know if they went for that cheesy look, like the family portrait look, but they all like the Walking Dead picture. Like it looks the picture me and Dave took with Billy D. Williams. It looks like a father son, like like he's sitting in the chair and we're above him, and it's like I'm holding his shoulder.
It was like reverse, like different strokes, I guess.
Exactly.
That's cool.
I adopted 2 white boys from Europe.
Works every time. Works every time.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's I wouldn't miss those for the world. We complain about not losing sleep and complain about how tired we are. There's no way I would miss it for anything.
Well, and it was. I mean, it was.
I did 10,000 steps. It was the second time in my life I've done 10,000 steps on my Fitbit.
Yeah,
first time was in Philly.
So I mean, it was like our first pink slip party all over again. I'm not going to lie. Like we do 2 kinds of events. We do our like little casual things, like we're doing Thursday at Hopcat, and then we do like these bigger events that are more jobs folks, where we get like 1,000 people and we take over the Majestic Theater and that kind of stuff. The first time we did one of those, and pretty much every time we did, like I lose my mind. Like I stress out for days leading up to it. And this was like that times 5, because I was like, this is our first time doing this. Like we've never like really like laid out money for like a booth and the the internet drop. Just trying to make sure we're doing it right. And it was like, geez, God, what if we suck? What if nobody shows up? What if what if this goes? And
a lot of things to worry about. Sure.
And
none of it came true.
But then it's like the. Like Friday, so like Thursday night we're there and the board's screwing up and we can't, like we're getting this weird ground feedback through the mic, just losing my mind, and then that goes away, and then Friday morning everything's like there's still a couple tweaks, get everything up and running, and then like the first people stop by our booth and like start asking, and it's like when those first people show up at the pink slip party, like, okay, we're not going to suck.
This is working.
Yeah, I got the same worries too. Me, Mike set up. Everything's cool. What if no one shows up? What if no one's watching the show anymore?
Well, you don't want someone to start, lonelyming.net.
Right.
like Lonely Virgil. I don't know if you've ever seen that or not.
I've seen Virgil at cons. I have an inkling of what that
There's
might
a
be
website
about,
called lonelyvirgil.net. It's bad.
It's like lonelyming.net is available for registration.
Yeah, you go through the same worries. I go through the same worries. Maybe on a smaller scale. Like I don't have to set up a board and worry about all that. But
no, when I'd walk in the back, like I'd kind of walk by and I'd look, and I'd smile. I'm like, I was so happy, like your booth was packed.
Thank you. Yeah.
It was just like, oh, thank God. Not saying thank God, it's your first time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And it's not like it's a smaller. This is like the big show.
Yep.
And it was like, oh, thank God, because that's probably the worst thing. Not for ego, just in general. Like, hey, I came out and I'd be mortified if I was coming out to this.
Well, and that was Ian Ziering 2 years ago. And it's something that he canceled last year and he wasn't there. But then 2 years ago, every time we walked by his booth, there was nobody there. It was like pre-Sharknado and all that stuff. It was like, meh. And then like I said, last year when people would have really wanted to see him, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, but he had a good crowd this year.
Bob, it's like DJing a party and like no one showing up.
Yeah.
For it, right? It's the same thing. You're just kind of sitting up there doing your thing, and there's nobody dancing.
Well, I was the '80s party at PenguinCon. I'm like,
yeah, there was
for like
nobody.
2 seconds.
Yeah, again, noise complaint, 3 PM Friday. Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah, and even worse is when they schedule a panel for you and like 3 you always worry like 3 people.
They gave us a panel at Midwest Media Expo. At the same time, the uber popular there was
some music thing that was some concert
there was a
going on.
steampunk band that came in from out of town that everyone was like begging to see. They put us next to that. Everyone was going to this awesome concert. Yeah. And we had, I think,
10 people.
10. No, I don't even think we had 4.
No, because the photos just popped up. We had like 10 people.
Okay.
Because we had the Motor City Geek guys. We had, our usual
they're all
band of
friends
misfits.
of yours.
Yeah, exactly.
They were,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, God bless them.
And we're like, all right, what do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Jimmy at Philly. You tweeted out usually we tweet out like the calm before the storm, or like the empty house, and you're just like. I'm like, no one showed up to your panel, Jimmy. Like,
yeah, I had to take a picture of just like the empty hall because that was going to be packed, and I'm just preparing myself for like, look at all these empty seats. Oh man, this is going to be huge.
Yeah. Do you guys have a favorite moment from the weekend? Sorry, I make you guys think.
No. There were some comments made to a podcasting panel by you yourself that I about lost my shit over. So
really,
yeah.
Oh wow, thank you. I guess
no, it was the American versus the European.
So wait, you were talking about that at the panel?
No, that was at our one of the shows. Yeah.
Oh,
no, so best. Honestly, like all the random podcasts. I mean, that like just all the random gatherings of folks. Like, so there are certain people that I for whatever, like I want to see more, but I don't. And so but they're all there. And so it's just that camaraderie of your con friends and oh my God, how you been for the last year and what's been going on and all that catch up. Because I mean, and that was part of honestly, one of the downsides of having a booth was that I didn't have as much time to walk around as I normally do. And
you're working,
But the after parties were amazing for that. I mean, that's where all those conversations happen.
So, I mean, I got to shake Ric Flair's hand. That's going to go right up there.
Yeah.
But it was funnier, like with Jimmy running around with the belt the night before. I'm not going to lie. That was
oh my God,
funny.
Friday night, dude. The number of we've been laughing about the number of like photos that are just showing up in our feed of people with the belt.
With the belt, yeah.
It's hilarious. And then Jimmy walks into the bar Saturday. Hey, the champ is back.
That was a belt where I'm like, oh shit, cons this weekend. I got to order it on Monday. I paid for 2-day shipping. It was like $40. And then they called me on Wednesday to confirm my address. And I was like, you better overnight it. And they go, you have to pay for it. I go, no, I paid for. And then the thing showed up Friday. That's why I had my and God bless my wife. God bless her soul. I didn't even have to ask her. She goes, your belt showed up. I'm on my way. And drops it off, and then me, I'm knee deep in beer and laughter. She's like rolling her eyes. She knows, it's gonna get ugly. But like
you knew what you married
exactly. And then we brought the belt out, and I'm like, oh, it's glorious. For me, that was. I was talking to Jay Adams about it, who used to be a pro wrestler. Now he's a stuntman he was in Batman, a bunch of stuff.
It's the Outsiders now.
But I'm like, that was the belt. Like when you were 8 years old. The Ric Flair belt, there was not that iconic belt in like Hulk Hogan had and all those, in WWF.
Yeah.
The Ric Flair belt was iconic. And now I'm holding an exact replica, like weighed heavy. I'm like, it was like honest to God, it was Indiana Jones, man. That was it.
I never felt like more of a winner.
Holding up a replica belt that you mail ordered.
Yeah.
I carry that thing around with 4 hours with pride.
Yeah.
And nothing, honestly, I found this out, nothing pisses off actual real pro wrestlers than like wrestling marks holding belts. Like, oh, trust me. It's like a thing, like but those guys kill themselves for the art. You know what I mean? And here, you just picking up the belt like,
Yeah, hey, whatever.
But getting that thing signed, man, that's going I think right next to my Flash Gordon painting. That's like it's going in a lockbox.
No, it's not going above the couch, Bob.
The Flash Gordon. I've talked. I'm trying to
detected lasers.
Yeah, right. Like smoke and
Not going next to your wedding pictures.
No, I don't think so. I tried. I have my whole basement. I have every square inch of my basement covered
Your
in.
basement's pretty badass.
Yeah, it's fun. It's small, but it's fun.
It's small but mighty.
Just wait till the new studio.
Small but mighty.
It's kind of what I tell the ladies.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
So hey, it's getting towards top of the hour. Ming, I can't thank you enough. This is honestly, it's been an honor. I don't mean to.
Oh my God, this is so. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for believing in us, for having us on your network and inviting me down. And every time I come back, I'm coming in.
Good. You always got time here. Even if you want to record your own stuff, we'll make space for you.
I thought, well, you guys have got to sit down with me if that happens. I mean, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Done. But yeah, looking forward to possibly we got to plan the road trip this summer.
Yeah,
go to Joyce.
Yeah, come to Red Bank. We'll podcast there.
We'll go see my family.
Dave's got to go incognito because his family's all there.
Oh, okay. Maybe take a day to go. Take an afternoon to go say hi to them.
Right.
I'll tell you, when we went to Philly, he was like, "Oh, we could drive up to Red Bank. It's only an hour up the road." I'm like, "Dude, you don't want to? No, dude. If we go to Red Bank, they're gonna see me.
Yep. Baby's back.
Yeah, and we're gonna check in somewhere. They're gonna know I'm there. It's not. He's like, what? And verify this for me. He's like, what? I'm like, no, you don't understand, Bob. Red Bank is not that big of a town.
No.
No, they might not be. He's like, what are they going to be in the store? I'm like, no, but they'll be in one of the two bars on either side of it.
Well, you can catch the Ming and Mike show on Podcast Detroit. Just go to podcastdetroit.com. Click on the show. You guys are being consistent again. We missed you for like 2 weeks, but now we're back on track. The show's funny. Comic Book Men season 6. Looking forward to that.
Thank
the
you.
DVR set because I can't stay up that late on Sundays typically.
I understand.
But it's on the DVR. That's how we watch TV these days. Exactly. Nielsen ratings, but that doesn't. No, they don't.
There's shenanigans.
Exactly. But seriously though, it's been honest to God. It's been so much fun. You one of the most humble, nicest people we've met in a long time, and it's great to have you here. I don't mean to keep buttering your bread. I'll stop. But we're heading.
Keep buttering. Keep buttering. Keep buttering, boy.
I can't believe it's not buttered.
But we are heading to the bar. This has been a fun episode 144. We'll see you next week.
Hold on. Did we find Jimmy?
Oh, I forgot about Jimmy.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you forgot about Dre.
We dropped it.
Sundays, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
5 o'clock to 7 is the Ninja Starship, and you can catch me an hour earlier from 4 to 5 on the Top Rope Review, hosting the professional wrestling podcast.
Which they don't allow me on because I take it over.
Posting all the photos of himself with the belt this week.
Exactly.
That's going to be the theme of this week's show.
Oh, yes.
Is Jimmy with belt.
I made Motor City Geek on their Comic-Con review with the belt. So
nice.
I got to frame one of them. I did send one to Shutterfly.
So you got that going for you.
Which is nice.
Nice. And then, Randy, where do people find you out on the Twitterverse and elsewhere?
I'm at Randy Walker on Twitter, and that's about it, really.
Speaking of Twitter, Mike Dennis tweeted out and said, I say nice things too, not just when you're wrong.
So, Bob, you're wrong. I tweet more than when you're wrong.
Me being wrong. Exactly. But hey, next week we're going to be at our brand new Squeaky Clean Studios in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan.
We are.
I'm going to stumble over my words saying that when we go there. I'm used to.
It'll take a couple weeks.
Exactly. But yeah, this has been episode 144 on behalf of Bob the Sales Guy, David
Well, and
Geek,
this Thursday, Hopcat.
Nuri the F&G. We'll see you Thursday at Hopcat. I'll be eating crack fries at the end of the bar with a shiny ginger ale next to me, and
with powder all over your nose.
I got some crack fries.
But hey, drink up your drinks. Get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you guys next week. Beat it.
That's it.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women.
Long live Flash! You've saved your ass. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Murphy. Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. Game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out!
a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth. Rude.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe on the trees.
Beer me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just doing stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Yeah. Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city.
I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
This is a previously recorded episode of the ITintheD Show.